Thank you, Jim. Tonight, the News4JAX I-team is looking into the political contributions of late businessman and GOP donor Kent Sterman, who died in an apparent suicide in Atlantic Beach last week. Following Sterman's death, JSO said he had been the subject of an active investigation, which multiple sources tell us involved alleged sexual misconduct. Campaign finance records show that Sterman, his wife, and his company, Total Military Management, have given more than $400,000 to candidates at the state, local, and national level. Among them, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. News4JAX reporter Scott Johnson joins us live with a look at the link he has to DeSantis and any potential political implications. Scott?
Well, Mary, this photo from 2019, it was posted by former state senator Rob Bradley. You can see his power here. He's right in the middle of Governor DeSantis, former Vice President Mike Pence. So essentially, Sterman was a key player locally in the GOP, and his death is making headlines nationally, particularly because of his links to Governor DeSantis. Between Kent Sterman, his wife, and his business entities, he has donated thousands in support of political candidates, everyone from sheriffs and state lawmakers to people like Herschel Walker and Ron DeSantis. The contributions to DeSantis and his political committee alone add up to $68,000. The national press is taking notice, with DeSantis being a potential contender for president. The New York Post, prominent DeSantis donor dies in apparent suicide during sexual misconduct probe. Yahoo News, prominent Florida donor intertwined with DeSantis and the law found dead by suicide. And then this article from Politico, which writes, while serving in Congress, DeSantis lived in a Flagler County condo co-owned by Sterman when redistricting drew him out of that seat. So I sat down with Daniel Cronrath, a professor of political science at FSCJ, to discuss whether this could affect a potential presidential campaign.
I think in terms of a Republican primary, it's really going to depend upon the appetite of the individuals he's going to be running against. Are they really going to want to take off the gloves?
Which brings us to one of those potential opponents, former President Donald Trump. While Sterman is seen here in 2019 with Ivanka Trump, Sterman's strong ties are to DeSantis.
Perhaps the 800-pound gorilla question, which is hanging out there, is what will former President Trump do with this information? We know that both of them would potentially be looking to run for office. We know that President Trump has already began to throw some shade at Governor DeSantis.
So far, all we've really heard from the governor about Sterman is his offering of condolences for a friend, which Cronrath says is wise unless more things come out in the future. Sterman, his wife, and his company have given to Lenny Curry, Mike Williams, and TK Waters, among other state and local politicians. The couple has also given to numerous members of Congress, including John Rutherford and Michael Walz. Now, we also notice campaign contributions to lawmakers who sit on the House Armed Services Committee. Remember, his company handles household moves for members of the military. Kent?
Thank you, Scott.